Is that a wig?
Yes, sadly.
Okay, because it's cool hair. This is Dr. Peter Well. I'm here at the MegaCon at Orlando. Olivia is going to do an interview unedited of me on her YouTube. Do not edit this, okay?
All right.
That's the only deal. You can't take anything out and mix it up.
All right.
All right. I'm doing it for free. Go ahead. What do you want to ask me?
It's time for another On the Spot. On the Spot.
As an actor, when you spend months as Buckaroo Banzai or RoboCop, do you ever think about the final cut? Or do you just worry about what you do best to make films like those work?
That is a very intelligent question about making a movie or starring in a movie. Because a lot of times, unless you're directing it and you have total power, you don't have control of the final cut. Many times it's not, unless you're Steven Spielberg, who is a really good editor himself. The studio is the final cut. So when you're acting in the film, you have to forget the arc, the good guys and the bad guys, and just play it scene by scene. If you start thinking in your head about how it's going to be cut, you can't perform. Like I'm talking to you right now. If I start thinking about somebody's going to come up and chop us up, how can I be natural with you? I'm already outside of my head. It's like right brain, left brain. You know, I'm acting from the right brain, the instinctual brain. The left brain is cutting and editing and so forth. Great question. No, I don't. And anybody who does can't act. They're tightened up. They're self-conscious. Next question.
Okay. That was a very intelligent answer in response to my intelligent question. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
While ever working on your PhD, were there ever students or professors asking for autographs if you ever went to the campus? What was it like going through that at the time in your career?
It was really hard to do a PhD, but I was inspired to get it because I got an MFA from Florence, Italy, Syracuse University. And I'd gone over there. It's like two people got me into art. A very famous, really intelligent woman who's a big star in the 60s and 70s named Ally McGraw. She was also a stylist for Vogue magazine and others. She got me into looking at art. The next thing I know is a great cinematographer named Vittorio Storaro, nominated 5 times for an Oscar, Apocalypse Now, The Last Emperor, Dick Tracy, Sheltering Sky. He got me looking at Renaissance art. So with those two people's influence, I went on my own path to Renaissance art. Subsequently, when I got my MFA, I realized I was sometimes going to get a PhD. Now, when you're going to get a PhD, you're hoping that scholarship doesn't know that you are Buckaroo Banzai and RoboCop, that they'll just treat you as another student. I had the bad thing effect. I wasn't looking for people asking for autographs. I didn't want to give autographs. Most people knew who I was and they didn't care, which is great, because I got to pass-fail just like you in school, just like him in school. I got to share my, my research with people, and people grade it. But there were a couple of teachers who did not like me being famous, or a guy, they had a gender problem, or that I was successful and had money. So they looked at me like I was slumming, that I was not taking this seriously, that I was not because I didn't have a career laid out for me in academia, which what most people do with a PhD, that I was not really serious about it. Subsequently, they didn't take me seriously. Subsequently, I had to get rid of them. I had to dodge them. I had to go to people who were really going to look at me and go, I know you're an actor, I know you're famous, I know you got some money, I know you're over 20 years old, but are you taking this seriously? Yes, I am. And they realized I was. Matter of fact, Christopher Lloyd, the movie star, is one of the guys that helped me get one of the people on my committee. A wonderful guy passed away named Robert Williams, UC Santa Barbara. He came onto my committee because he looked at me like I was a student and not like a movie star. So it's a really second good question, Olivia.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's always neat to find out what roles actors have passed on that would have changed a film. Are there any roles you passed on we'd be surprised to find out about?
No, because there's no great role that I ever passed on. I passed on some funky, terrible roles, and I never regretted it at all. There is a great role that I was second to, and I really regretted not getting it, until I saw the guy play it. And he was so astounding that I thought, I'm so happy he got it. and that was John Savage's role in The Deer Hunter. And Michael Cimino, it's not, Christopher Walken was a different role, Robert De Niro was a different role. But for the third guy, Michael Cimino was meeting me, and Robert De Niro were meeting me. And then it went to John, and I was doing a hit play with Mike Nichols at the time called Streamers at Lincoln Center, and I was really sad that I didn't get that part. And then I saw the movie. I was invited to the very first screening of it ever, and I saw that movie, The Deer Hunter, which is a seminal movie in my generation, in the whole Vietnam era. And I saw Christopher Walken, my dear friend's performance in it, and how brilliant Robert De Niro was, and Meryl Streep and everybody. And then I saw John, who beat me out for that role, and he was so fantastic in it. He made me so moved that I thought, I'm grateful that John got that role. And that's the best I've ever come close to about jealousy about not getting a part. Good question.
Thank you.
A third brilliant question by Olivia.
Are you able to watch yourself on screen?
I am after a while. At first, I wasn't. But I have to tell you this. Like, for instance, because the great Miguel Ferrer just passed away, I went to see a screening of RoboCop. I haven't seen it in about 10 years. I screened it for J.J. Abrams at Bad Robot. But Miguel passed. I sat there with Ed Neumeyer, the writer, and I watched the movie, how brilliant it was. And then I took myself out of the equation. I could see how brilliant the movie is. So I can watch myself on screen. I still have little judgments about myself. I just watched myself as the lead in MacGyver last Friday with my wife and child, Teddy. They're at Disneyland right now, at Disney World. I'm working, look around, I'm working, and my wife Sherry and my son Teddy are at Disney World. But I watched that, and it was great, and I don't necessarily, I don't judge myself so much anymore. I kind of let myself off the hook. However, I'm not, to me, entertained so much by watching myself. I'd rather watch somebody else.
Which film are you able to watch yourself without constantly critiquing yourself?
Wow, which film am I allowed to watch myself without constantly critiquing myself? None. There isn't a film where I'm not critiquing myself. I kind of let myself off the hook, but I always still got like, well, that thing wasn't great. I could have done that better. There's little things. I'm not a big critique on myself, but there's always criticisms.
Constructive criticism.
Well, it's regretful criticisms because you can't change it in a film. It's there for posterity. It's there in perpetuity. It's a non-ephemeral film. You make the film, comes out, I can't go back and do it. Like Francis Ford Coppola is going to go back and re-edit Apocalypse Now. You can do that as a director. You can't do that as an actor.
If you're able to bump into yourself at 25 years old, what advice would you give? What is something you learned later in life that you wish you would have known sooner?
Here's the deal, and you should learn this too. Stay out of bars. Stay away from drugs and alcohol. Stay away from stuff that's going to bring you down. There's many people in my generation who are dead from it. Seriously. And subsequently, I'm very grateful to be alive from that era, and my dear friends are alive. But we've all put it away. We've all stayed out of that. When it's 25, you don't know any better. I see 25-year-olds today who do know better to stay away from drugs and alcohol and indulgences and so forth and being stupid with a car or texting in a car. I was not that guy. I was kind of like footloose and free. I always had the sense of discipline to work, but at the same time, my party sense was a little bit too much. And I didn't party like people don't think I had a problem partying, but I would have brought that down more. If I bumped into myself at 25 years old today, I'd say, you know what? Work harder and stay out of bars.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. God bless you. Stay well. Take care of Mom and Dad, and do the right thing. Give me a hug. Bye.
And this is the end from MegaCon Orlando. I hope you guys had an amazing time listening to me interview Peter Weller. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to smash the subscribe button, like, and share. Bye!